Every once in a while, the gospel fits the situation of the day. Today, we celebrate Labor Day. And if you look at what was going on in the gospel, the man with the withered hand could not work. Because of the disability he had, he could not go out into the fields and do what anyone would do. He had to depend upon others. You know, if anyone has had a broken limb, we know how hard it is to do anything. Try putting on a shirt and buttoning it. Try to kind of do ordinary things. I broke my right arm and I couldn't drive for 4 weeks. It was torture. I had to depend upon other people. And Jesus knew that the man with the withered hand could not do what he was, labor, because of his disability. So what did he do? He cured him. So after the Sabbath, the man could go out and get a job. It's really interesting. But the Pharisees, how dare you do something good on the Sabbath? How dare you cure somebody and make them an able-bodied person? When you look at the church's teaching on labor, it goes all the way back at least to the time in the Industrial Revolution, when Pope Leo XIII saw how the factory workers and children and women were being treated, how they were oppressed and put down. And he wrote the encyclical Rerum Novarum on the dignity of labor and said, we must treat people with respect. We must treat the laborer with respect. And 40 years later, when Benedict XV saw the same thing was going on, he wrote Quadragesimo Anno, again, reaffirming the dignity of labor, because even though Pope Leo had written the encyclical on the dignity of labor, things had not changed greatly. Come 100 years after Rerum Novarum, and you have Pope John Paul II, who saw what the communists were doing to the workers in Poland, and also saw that the oppression of labor was still occurring around the world. And he said, we've got to treat people with dignity. We've got to treat them with respect. And this past weekend in Pullman, they dedicated the National Monument in honor of the railroad workers who worked for George Pullman. But during the time of a recession, Pullman reduced their wages, but kept their rent and the cost of their food the same, thereby oppressing the workers even more. And the way the Pullman car workers were treated was just unconscionable. And now the people of Pullman have raised the worker once again to the dignity, or trying to raise the worker to the dignity that one deserves. It is partly out of the Pullman strikes that Labor Day became about, that and a few other factors. But we said, you know, a person needs a day off. A person needs to be treated with respect. A person needs a decent wage. And one other thing, too, is when you look at what Jesus did, he cured the man with the withered hand. Do the workers have good health care? Do they have good treatment? I think on this Labor Day weekend, we must give thanks for those men and women who make the goods that we consume every day, that make our lives easier because of their labor. And we thank God that we have the dignity that we try to strive for the dignity that each man and woman deserves as a laborer of God. Because church teaching said each and every one of us, no matter what position in life and what status we have as a laborer, all should be working for the good of God's kingdom. All should be reaching out to our brothers and sisters so that everyone is treated with dignity and has the ability to make a livelihood.
Thank you for joining us for the celebration of the Mass today. It's a blessing that you are with us. Every broadcast of this liturgy goes out to hundreds of people and hundreds of people all over the world. It's been an enormous blessing. If you'd like to support this virtual ministry of OLPH, please go to our website. You can support this ministry by going to Give Central so that we can continue to broadcast the liturgy each and every week. Thank you for your support. Most of all, thank you for joining us today. God bless you. Greetings from OLPH.